Oh my gosh, I'm actually doing it. And for once, my cup in like a month is gonna actually match the season. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lynn the Cosplayer here, drinking some coffee in the afternoon, back again to finally do another video where we talk about a complex, interesting, and controversial cosplay topic. A long time ago, I started this series because I thought, how fun would it be to discuss things in our cosplay community that affect everyone that no one seems to want to bring up because they're either uncomfortable, there's lots of differing opinions, or they're just really spicy in general. So that's how this got started. And then I did not do almost any videos this past year. I mean, we're 8 months into the year, it's August, and I've done what, like maybe 2 videos? And I could lie and say I've been really busy, but honestly, cosplay's just not really been on my priority list this year. I've gone through some pretty major life changes in the past 12 months. Now that summer's almost over, I'm kind of like starting to slow down and reflect on all of it. And it's so crazy, everything that I've been through. This was also like my anniversary year of doing cosplay for, I think, like 15 years now or something like that. So it's been a very long time. I've experienced a lot of life. I've experienced a lot in the community, and I started to be like, okay, I gotta do some more videos here. I have more good stuff to talk about. I just gotta like get my thoughts in order. I gotta calm down a little bit. There's been a lot of stuff that's been bugging me, I guess you could say, and there's a lot of stuff that I think is very topical at this moment that we do need to talk about as a community, because the problem is larger than the cosplay community, but it trickles down and affects us so much more than you might realize. If cosplay is one of your main hobbies that you do, you love to make costumes, you love to buy costumes, you love to go to conventions, this video is for you to listen to. So today we are going to talk about overconsumption in cosplay and why the problem is so bad that it's beginning to completely infect our entire community. So buckle up, everyone. We're going to be talking about some hard to talk about topics today. As I say in all my videos, I'm not sponsored or affiliated with anyone. My opinion is very honest and very real, and I hope you guys really appreciate that, because we are in an era of so many companies being sponsors and so many people being affiliated with events and things like that, where it's really hard to actually get someone's honest opinion these days without any influence going on around them. Also, my coffee of choice today is an espresso pod with almond milk, stevia, and cinnamon, in case you guys want to replicate it. It's pretty good, and I'm trying to get in like the autumn season mindset since we're coming up on September. Okay, we're what, 3 minutes in, and we're finally going to talk about the topic. So this has been something on my mind for quite a long time, but it's been hard to put into words exactly why it has been bugging me so much. The way that I absorb other people's content, I love to look at everything from behind the scenes at Disneyland and Disney World with people who are actual like characters at those places. I love to watch Broadway musicals. I love to see costume creation for that. And within all of that, there is also a lot of people who are just either small hobby cosplayers, larger cosplayers with their own brand deals, and like everyone in between that I also follow. Sometimes I randomly find people and I just start following them because I hear their name at an event, like maybe they're on stage doing a competition, maybe they have a booth somewhere and they're selling something and they do cosplay as well. Whatever it may be, I end up following people and I start absorbing a lot of their content, mostly through Instagram, sometimes Facebook, and groups too. But there is one thing that I have noticed is very, very bad, that is just like going around every single group, every single profile that I follow, and that is a major issue with overconsumption. Now, there's a lot I could say about how much is the individual's responsibility versus the corporations and companies that are, in control of everything else. I think that maybe the blame or responsibility the scales are very, very tipped. And although the individual person may be told, hey, you make such a big difference, you need to make all these personal changes, it's your personal responsibility. In the end, there's a lot more into play with whose responsibility it actually is. And I will say there are a lot of individual things that we can do to help ourselves, but in the end, we have to hold bigger companies, bigger people, and bigger brands responsible for their actions if we actually want to see change in our world. And I will touch base on this later. So first off, let's talk about what's actually been going on within our community, the reason why this topic is now getting brought up. First thing, TikTok and Instagram are at an all-time high with cosplay creators. And not even people that only do cosplay, even people that do cosplay on the side and they do a million other things, or cosplay is like their big thing they do, but they also do, side hustles or whatever it is, or even just people who are hobby cosplayers who have now found themselves in a particular spot where they can actually make money off doing cosplay. With this, we have a plethora of issues because when people become influencers, there is also a lot of other stuff that's happening. But some of the main issues I see is that you end up comparing yourself to others 24/7, whether you want to or not. If you're scrolling Instagram before you go to bed or scrolling TikTok in the morning as soon as you wake up, without even realizing it, you are comparing yourself to every single cosplayer and creator out there that you follow or that you watch their content. It is not a conscious thing. It is a very, very subconscious thing. So think about the sights, the smells, the sounds that you put into your head. Those things stay in there and those things become your basis of comparison when you're doing a hobby. And those things are the things you're going to think about later when you are doing whatever it is you do within the cosplay community. Now, because of this, I have also noticed that people create wish list projects out of literally thin air. So typically in the past, the way that cosplay would be done is that you would watch a show or a video game, or you'd get a recommendation to watch a show or play a video game or whatever, and you would go into that, see that, and go, oh my gosh, I really love this character. I want to try to make their costume. Or you'd know a convention was coming up and think about like all the characters you were familiar with and think about like, oh, maybe I'll try to make a version of this, or ooh, maybe I'll try to make this person's accessory or something like that. When you are consuming content through other people instead of directly from you to the content, you are now looking at it through their eyes. And I can tell you that happiness and excitement are extremely contagious, like so contagious. If you see a person on Instagram talking about a costume or a character that they are just obsessed with and now they have to make this, sometimes that contagiousness is not exactly good because you start to make a wish list in your head that now you want to make that costume, that character's accessory, whatever the big item is. And it came literally from someone else. It did not come from the content and you deciding that consciously. It's almost like a subconscious thing. Like this person's excited about it. They made it look really easy. Now I want to do it because it looks easy and they're having fun and I want to have fun. So it's kind of scary if you think about how much people actually influence you. Like influencer isn't just a word, it's an action that's happening to you as the consumer. It is also influencing a lot of very bad habits, I would say. And I know some people have come around and talked about like TikTok trends and stuff where it's like literally out of nowhere, someone will create a trend and it's like everyone hops on the train and everyone wants to do their own version or make it for themselves or whatever, which is great. It can be really fun if you're just doing tiny little projects to like fill your time or sketching in a certain way to learn a different style or something like that. When it comes to cosplay, what ends up happening is that certain characters will be highly, highly trending for a certain amount of time, and then they completely disappear off the face of the earth and no one talks about it. It's going to be really interesting to see people in like 5 to 10 years doing like throwbacks. Remember when this random item was so popular in the cosplay community? Who still owns this item or who made this back then? So that's going to be very interesting. But because of being able to be influenced so fast and through other people without even realizing it, how many of the items or costumes that you have made have been because of you observing the content versus you seeing someone else absorbing the content and being happy and excited about it. I'm not saying that you can't necessarily enjoy a video game or a show or a movie, but would you have still created that item or that costume or that accessory without seeing that influencer do it first, or without seeing other people hype it up and get excited? Now, I don't think it is totally wrong. I think it can be really fun to get swept up in just like a fun trend to try out, like painting your nails a certain color, or doing something fun with your hair, or trying to make a certain project. But when it comes to being able to scroll through hundreds and hundreds of videos and posts from different people and different projects, it can get extremely overwhelming and what I would consider to be very toxic levels of influencing. Now, the other problem that we're getting with this is that ads are everywhere and they are all consuming. It is so bad. I can't even explain my level of frustration trying to watch YouTube. And in the YouTube video, there are several ads because the person or the content I'm watching is sponsored, which is okay. I get it. Everyone wants to make money. But there are literally ad breaks for YouTube in the middle of the ads I'm already watching from the sponsors. And not only that, if you don't click off the video fast enough at the end, it will just autoplay an ad at the end as well. It is ridiculous. So we have all these YouTube video ads over and over and over. Not only that, when you're scrolling through Instagram, there are so many sponsored content posts. And not only that, but also targeted ads to you. So, new shoes or products that you've been thinking about buying, or places you should go, or whatever, that are just completely ads. They're not related to anything else. And then, of course, we have influencers with extremely deceptive talking points. So the cosplayer that's saying, oh my gosh, have you heard about this foam brand? They are amazing. I use them for this. Look at this cool thing I made with them. Oh my gosh. And you can use my 20% off code now. It is crazy. I want someone to do like a chart or a graph that shows, out of all the content we absorb every day, what percentage of it is actually sponsored, affiliated, or just ad-based, that we don't even realize like how much of our brain that's taking up. And I don't know about you guys, but I definitely notice it also makes me get much more on edge and want to click faster and get off things even faster. Like my patience level has gone severely down because of this. The last big thing that we're going to just talk about, like what's currently going on in our community, is low-cost stores and super fast shipping coming together to create what I would call one of the coolest availabilities ever, but also one of the most dangerous and hard to check yourself things that you can do. Now, when we are talking about deciding to start a cosplay costume or to buy a cosplay costume, in the past, there were a couple buffers that would happen right away. So first off, I want to make a costume. Okay, well now I have to go buy supplies. Well, if I'm going to buy supplies, I'm probably going to want to go in person, so I'm going to need to find time to go to the store. Okay, well, if I go to the store, maybe I'll want to go during a sale, so maybe I'll wait until I know they're having an annual sale or a seasonal sale. Okay, well, maybe the store's a little far away, so maybe I'll wait until the weekend. There's a lot of buffers that kind of come up that prevent you from just starting a project right away. And then with buying an outfit, it's also the same. If a website is custom making something, it's going to take a few weeks, and then we have shipping, depending where it's coming from in the world, that can take a while. That's a pretty big buffer. However, when we have very low cost stores now that offer same day, next day, 2-day shipping, this takes minutes to go from seeing someone's Instagram post, looking up the website, clicking buy, adding it to your cart, putting in your credit card information, done. Decision done within 10 minutes easily. And because of those barriers being knocked down, this is creating a world that is so easy to fall into overconsumption. I honestly don't blame anyone for this happening to them. In fact, I have definitely made really stupid purchasing decisions because I went, oh my God, that outfit looks so cute. I want that outfit. Go to look it up. There's already a link. Click on the link. Oh, it's on sale. Okay, I guess I'll add it to cart and buy. And then the next day, wake up and go, why did I buy that? I didn't even want it. Why did I get this? I'm going to wear it once and never wear it again. This is a stupid purchase. When it is so easy and fast to buy something, it can be very, very hard to talk yourself down, especially when websites use methods like having a countdown timer. Oh, this 60% off sale is only lasting for 6 more hours. You have to buy it now. Or sending you emails over and over and over with coupons. Or even worse, pushing content ads that are targeted to you on Instagram. So the next time you try to go scroll through Instagram, that thing you were looking at will not stop popping up. And because it won't stop popping up, you cannot stop thinking about it. It is all consuming. It is really bad. And again, like I said, I don't personally blame anyone. Like, there is psychology behind this that makes it so that you want to purchase more, which is why we're talking about it in this video, so that before you do anything, you can make a very conscious decision about what you're doing and if it's right for you and for this moment. So now that we've talked about what's actually going on, I want to specifically target why this is problematic in the cosplay community, because all of these things could be said for any hobby, almost anyone online. I have friends that don't do cosplay, but they are sucked into the Instagram and TikTok buying machine because, again, like I've said, all those things are applicable to them. They're applicable to anyone that uses those apps. Okay, first problem that we are going to talk about is the closets bursting with old projects and forgotten costumes. This is something I have seen absolutely no cosplayer talk about, and I think it's time we actually discuss this, but it is very difficult to sell old costumes and get almost any value for them. The only time that I have seen someone have a costume that they custom made for themselves go to another home where it will be used is when they're already a part of a cosplay group and someone is looking to buy that costume that just happens to be in that size, or in the case that someone is willing to donate a costume they made completely for free to maybe like a younger person or a beginner cosplayer that just needs an outfit for something. Because you make a costume that is specific to like your measurements and your height and your fit and everything like that, it is really hard to sell cosplay costumes. And people always try to say, oh, well, if you make it and you don't end up wearing it, you can just sell or donate it. That is complete BS. If you donate a cosplay costume to any big box store or company, I can guarantee you it's probably gonna go in a landfill. If you donate it to a cosplay group, maybe one other person will get some use out of it, but like, let's be honest, you grow out of cosplay costumes, and if something's getting donated for free to you, you're probably going to take less care of it than you would if you were the purchaser of it or if you were the one that actually made it yourselves. So with that, it makes me question the cosplayers who are making one costume a month for years on end. What happens to all those costumes? And I think the reality of it is either you love it so much you keep it forever and you just hope it fits and take it in or out as needed, or it ends up in a landfill. There's very little that happens in between all of that. The other problem that we really need to talk about is the burnout. So has anyone noticed they've been feeling really, really burned out even when they're not working on a costume? Why is that? Why? Because the content that you are absorbing is other people creating. And when you are doing a create along with me and watching them create, you are not getting any time to cleanse your creative palette. So the way that I like to explain it to other people is that I can be really creative. I can go the extra mile. I can have my brain work in just very interesting ways. Like if someone gives me a cardboard box and they tell me to make something, I'm like, give me a hot glue gun and some paint. I already have some ideas. I can just feel like the wheels turning and my creative juice is flowing. But the thing is, when I am done making a project, I don't want to consume more project making. I need to cleanse my palette. I need to get inspired by very beautiful things, by things that are based in nature or folklore. I go to art museums, I read books, I binge watch movies that I love or TV shows that are old, or, have conversations with friends and question life and do all these other things. But what I don't do is I don't want to go on Instagram and scroll through a million other people making things, because I think it feeds into this mindset of always needing to be creating and always needing to be busy in order to be a good cosplayer, which is BS. Like I've always said before, if you have made a cosplay costume or bought a cosplay costume at any time in history, you can call yourself a cosplayer. It does not need to be an ongoing active thing that you do all the time or at specific intervals. So if you've been telling yourself that you're a bad cosplayer because you don't make costumes all the time, or maybe you're taking a break from making, maybe you're only buying, or maybe you're not buying, maybe you're only re-wearing, you are not a bad cosplayer. You're just a normal human. The people who are putting up that content where they are consistently always making something, they are the exception to the rule. Either they're having a great time and there's something about them where they just need to make all the time, or they're actually having a really bad time and they are getting burnout and refusing to quit, which is not healthy for your brain. So let's talk about also the fact of being compared to people who have so much more available to them than you do. I hate to say it, but one of the things that I think really influences people's ability to make awesome costumes is just honestly having more available to them. More money, more time, more space, more tools, more techniques. There's a lot of stuff that I wish I could do, but I'm not going to spend the money to do it. I'm sorry. I love cosplay. I don't love cosplay enough to drop $600 to get 12 yards of some expensive fabric. Like, that's really cool and all that some people are willing to do that, but I'm not willing to do that. That money could go towards a trip. That money could go towards a down payment on a house. That money could go towards paying off bills. There's so many other good uses for that money, but that's not appropriate for everyone to do. And the other thing is that I am not going to go out and buy the most high-tech tools, because guess what? Give it 3 years and there's going to be a better tool out there. Give it a couple years and it won't even be relevant anymore. And the other thing is having the space to store all that stuff. So we have people who not only have more available to them, but they are also making money. They are monetized and they're getting reimbursements because they have brand deals. So not only that, they are getting free supplies to work with, or they're getting reimbursed for using those supplies, or they are getting paid for the videos that they make using those supplies. So they are getting something back. The average cosplayer is not getting any of that. So as easy as they try to make it seem to buy all those materials or those tools or whatever it is they're advertising, for the average cosplayer, it's just not very realistic. And it's kind of awkward to absorb someone's content and go, wow, that costume's so cool that you made. Good for you. Okay, bye. Like, I'm not going to go buy all this stuff that you advertised to me. Like, I'm trying to pay my bills here. I don't have the money for that. I don't have the time. Where the hell am I going to put a 3D printer in my tiny apartment? Like, that stuff doesn't make sense to the average cosplayer. But I think a lot of it is like advertised to us as in like, this should be your end goal. And if you're not here, don't worry, you'll get here. Well, I don't think I'm really interested in getting there as a cosplayer. I don't really need a massive workshop. Like, can we cosplay? They have a really, really cool workshop, but they do this for a living. They make and 3D print things for companies that they are branded with for a living. The average cosplayer is not going to do that. Maybe some people are very wealthy and they have the time and money to buy those things. They have the space available to them. So like, why not use it? That's great, but that's not everyone. And it's very hard because when you are a hobby cosplayer, you are compared to everyone that everyone else sees. So if they are seeing all of this on Instagram and TikTok, that's just who you're compared to. Unfortunately, that is just like the plight of our hobby that we're doing. Now, one of the biggest issues that we need to talk about is how many nasty habits we are creating within ourselves and within our community. And when I talk about nasty habits, we are circling back to the issue about, I want it, I got it. Like, there's no buffer, there's no patience, There's no waiting. There is no people to check you and be like, do you really need that? Do you really have to do it that fast? Should you really be doing it right now? There is no one. There is people who are making money off you as a consumer, trying to sell you things. And it's kind of feeding into this mindset of, oh my God, this thing is so trendy right now. I want to make a mushroom hat because everyone else is making a mushroom hat. Well, that's great, but you go to Run Fair once a year and you're only going to wear that mushroom hat, what, maybe once, twice for a photo shoot? Where's that mushroom hat going to end up? Where is it going to be? Is it going to be cool to wear this in a year? Is it going to be dumb? Is it still going to fit your head? Is your dog going to chew it up? Like, we're kind of creating these like habits within ourselves that are like, well, if I can do it, why wouldn't I do it? Or if I have the time and money, why wouldn't I just go out and buy the materials and start making it? Because then I can do a video and show everyone what I made and it's popular and lots of people will like it. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's the right thing to do at this time, at this moment, with the materials available. And I've actually seen a lot of people say like, well, I really want to be a part of this trend because it's fun and it's cool, but I can't afford those materials that that person used. So I just went on this other website and ordered like cheaper stuff and it works just the same. And I got next day shipping and it was within my budget, so it's fine. And to that, I have to say, we're going to talk about the last point, which is the biggest issue of overconsumption. It's hurting our earth, it's hurting our environment, and it's exploiting people. Not only is it exploiting the consumer, feeling like we need to have the newest, the best, the biggest, and always be creating, but it's hurting the people that are getting those packages to you. And as someone who lives very close to Seattle and to the Amazon warehouses, it can be very, very tempting to go, well, I can get this product on Amazon and they'll literally deliver it to me by the end of today and then I can just start on the project tonight, when really that's probably not what I should be doing. I should probably go buy it from a reputable source, go get off my butt, go walk or bike or drive or bus to the craft store, go touch that product in real life and really ask myself, is this really what I want to do? Do I want to spend money on this? When it's hard to do something, when it's difficult, it makes it so much more worth doing because then it's something you truly know that you're invested in and that you like and it's worth your time, your money. And you're going to also question, I have to do all this work just to do this. If it's not going to last, maybe I don't want to do it. Maybe I'm fine with just watching other people do it and like cheer them on and go, woohoo, that mushroom hat looks awesome. I'm really great. It's super cute. But you yourself don't need it. And you don't need to go start making it just because you can. Now, I will say, I know that there are so many parts, especially of the US, where it is like impossible to buy things unless you do it through Amazon. I do have family members and friends who live in the boonies and places where only Amazon is really available unless you want to drive 2 hours into the nearest town and go to a craft store that you don't even know what's going to be there. I understand that. And in those cases, I will make an exception. If you really want to do something, give yourself a timer, tell yourself, okay, it's Wednesday, I have to wait till Saturday morning. And if I still am excited about this and want to make it, that's when I'll make it happen. That's when I'll go buy everything. But make it harder for yourself to buy stuff. Put things in your cart and wait a week. Ask yourself, do I want to do this character because I truly, truly am enjoying this character and I'm having fun and I'm excited? Or do I want to do it because I saw 20 other people do it on Instagram and I want to be with them? Like in some way, I want to feel like I'm a part of the group. Don't get into that group mindset. Don't get into that overconsumption mindset. It's okay to slow down. Honestly, the best thing I can tell you to do, take all your cosplay costumes out of your closet, look at them, enjoy them, fix them up, clean them, make them look nice, hang them up in a spot in your room you can be proud of, put them on your dress form just because they look pretty and they match the season or the holiday. Like really enjoy the stuff that you have. Slowing down, having fun, having a good time, all of that's great, but it doesn't really go anywhere until you're able to realize what you have is enough and feeling good about that. And then when you do decide to start a project, you'll feel a lot more calm and you'll feel a lot more centered and trust yourself a little bit more that you're not over consuming. You're doing this because you really want to. There's less influencing going on and more like personal enjoyment. So I know this video has been really long, and there is so much more I could say about overconsumption. I think I've hit some pretty good points, and I really want you guys to like stew on this, think a little bit more, ask yourself, is overconsumption an issue in your life? How have you been handling it? Not just purchasing, but making. Do you feel like you need to make things all the time? And what do you do when you watch someone else's content and it's so good that it actually makes you feel bad, or it prompts you to like do a project? Like, what do you do with those thoughts and feelings? So before I get all philosophical, I'm going to end this video, and I will talk to you guys soon. I'll be back for more controversial series videos. I have some really good spicy topics. So anyways, have a good night, guys. Let's talk soon. Bye.